There's a very specific, almost hollow feeling that I think a lot of us have experienced.
Mhm.
You spend weeks, maybe months planning something. It could be anything, a fundraiser, a volunteer day, even just a local meetup.
Right.
You craft the perfect message. You make a great looking graphic for the Facebook group. You send out the invite, you hit send, and then you sit back and you wait for, this wave of excitement.
And instead, you get crickets.
Absolute deafening silence.
Right.
Maybe one like from your mom. And you're just staring at the screen thinking, okay, does nobody care? Is everyone just apathetic now?
It is the defining frustration of trying to organize anything in 2026. That feeling that you're just shouting into a void. But today, we're going to look at some material that suggests the silence isn't because people don't care.
That sounds optimistic, almost too optimistic for how I feel about group chats right now.
Well, it's not really about optimism. It's about architecture. We're doing a deep dive today into a platform called Kannect. That's Kannect. We've got their manifesto on the engagement crisis, their technical docs, a whole breakdown. And our mission today is to investigate a pretty bold claims they're making.
Which is?
That the tools we use to build community social media, email chains, all those apps, are actually the things killing it.
So we're not just reviewing software. We're, putting the modern internet on trial for murder.
In a way, yeah. The core argument here is that we have a structural problem, not a people problem.
Okay, let's unpack that. Because I think everyone listening has felt this. You run a group, people sign up, they say they're excited, and then they just ghost you. It feels personal.
It does.
Yeah.
And according to the Community Engagement Playbook blog, which is one of our key sources here, this is what they call the myth of disengaged members.
The myth of disengaged members.
Exactly. Leaders assume low numbers mean low motivation. They think, oh, people are just lazy.
Right.
But Kannect's research argues that members do care. The problem is visibility.
Visibility. You mean they literally aren't seeing the invite?
Precisely. It's the algorithm trap. I mean, think about how most groups communicate. They use social media feeds. But what is a feed actually designed to do?
It's a retention engine. It's not a list of what's important.
Right. It prioritizes virality. So your update about the neighborhood cleanup, which is just some text and a map, is competing with the video of cat playing a tiny piano on a motorcycle.
And the motorcycle cat wins every time.
Every single time. The algorithm wants ad revenue and time on site. So even if someone explicitly follows your page, the platform has almost no incentive to show them your boring update about a meeting. In fact, it's kind of incentivized not to.
Because it might make the user close the app and go do something in the real world.
Yes, which forces leaders into that awful pay-to-play position. I've seen it so many times.
Oh, it's the worst. You have to pay to boost a post just to reach the people who already said they want to hear from you. It feels like a ransom.
It creates this massive disconnect. The member thinks nothing's happening. The leader thinks nobody cares. But the message just never.
Yeah.
It never got delivered. It's like the post office burning your letter because it wasn't entertaining enough.
Wow. That is remarkably validating. I think a lot of people need to hear that. But to play devil's advocate, it's not just social media, right? I mean, even when you move to email, it can still feel like pulling teeth.
That brings us to the second villain in this story. And honestly, this one might be worse because it's self-inflicted. It's what they call tool fragmentation.
Tool fragmentation.
Or, as I like to call it, the Frankenstein stack.
The Frankenstein stack. Okay, I have a feeling I know what this is. This is where we stitch together 5 different free trials and hope it comes to life.
You've got it. An organization tries to avoid the algorithm, so they build this monster. They use a spreadsheet for contacts, then Eventbrite for tickets, MailChimp for newsletters, then, WhatsApp or Discord for chat, and maybe a separate site for donations.
And suddenly, as a member, I need 4 different logins just to stay involved with the PTA.
And you have to remember which password goes to which app, and which one has the schedule versus the chat. It creates what designers call cognitive load.
Friction.
A ton of friction. Every time you ask a member to switch apps, you lose some of them.
And as a leader, you're just burning out. You're spending your whole Saturday copying and pasting email addresses instead of actually leading people.
The source material is really clear on this. More effort does not fix broken infrastructure. You can't outwork a bad system.
So that's the stage. The system is either an algorithmic black hole or a fragmented mess. So enter Kannect. Their whole branding is about creating a home.
That word home is doing a lot of heavy lifting for them. Think about it like renting an apartment versus owning a house.
Okay.
On Facebook or LinkedIn, you're renting.
Yeah.
The landlord, the algorithm, the pricing model can change the rules on you at any time.
and Kannect is saying buy the land.
Exactly. A home, in their view, is an owned digital space. It's centralized. You control it. If you post an update in your Connect home, every member gets it, period.
That feels, I mean, almost too simple. If I send it, they get it. It's kind of wild that we have to market that as a feature in 2026.
It sounds simple, but today, that's a radical concept. It's their anti-algorithm stance.
Yeah.
No sorting based on engagement bait. No prioritizing controversy, just chronological and direct.
Okay, but what about the all-in-one claim? Because usually when a platform tries to do everything, it does everything kind of poorly.
The jack of all trades problem.
Yeah, and their feature list is huge. They're saying they replace the website, email, push notifications, event ticketing, donations, messaging, all of it.
It's a bold move. They're trying to be the community's operating system, not just another utility. So let's pressure test this. Let's walk through the actual member experience. Because if the member hates it, none of it matters.
Right. And my biggest pet peeve with these platforms, and I'm sure listeners agree, is the login wall. I scan a QR code for an event, and the first thing it asks for is my email and a new password just to see what time it starts. I'm gone. I'm closing the tab.
They seem to have thought about that. They have a feature called the public front door.
Is that their Discover website?
That's the one. Every organization gets a dedicated website that's open to the public. This is crucial. It means I can send you a link, and you can see the calendar, read about them, look at photos, all without creating an account.
That's a huge deal for, the curious but hesitant people. It lowers that barrier to entry. It's like window shopping before you decide to walk into the store.
Exactly. But then, once you decide to RSVP or join a group, that's when you enter what they call the Connect Community Hub app.
Okay, I have to ask. Another app. My phone is a graveyard of unused apps. Getting someone to download a new one is a big ask.
It is. But it comes back to intentionality. A group chat is just a chaotic stream of consciousness. You go away for 2 days, you come back to 400 unread messages, and you just mute the whole thing.
Guilty. I have at least 6 muted group chats right now. I don't even open them anymore.
The Connect app is structured. It separates events, updates, and groups, so the noise is compartmentalized. But the feature that really jumped out at me was member control over notifications.
Oh, I saw that. You can choose push notifications or email.
Yes, and this just acknowledges a basic truth. People are different. Some people live in their inbox. Others, especially younger people, ignore email but check every single push notification. This lets the member decide.
That saves the admin so much mental energy. You just send the update, and the system delivers it how the user wants it. You don't have to guess.
And there was one other little detail in the event ticket that you catch the self-check-in.
Yeah, it says it becomes available 30 minutes before an event starts.
It's such a small thing, but it tells you who built this. If you ever run an event, you know the bottleneck is always the registration table. 50 people in line, one person with a clipboard.
And the line's out the door, everyone's annoyed before they even get inside.
Exactly. Letting members check themselves in on their phone as they walk up, that's a lifesaver. It shows this was built by people who've actually stood at that door with that clipboard.
That's a great point. It feels practical. So speaking of practical, let's flip it around. If I'm the admin, the person who is managing that Frankenstein stack, what does my life look like now?
So you're living in the admin dashboard, your control center. Instead of hopping between Stripe and MailChimp and Excel, it's all one interface.
And it handles the money, right? The payments and donations.
Yeah, it's integrated with Stripe. But the real power, I think, isn't just the payments, it's the data. It's the community CRM.
Okay, define CRM for us here, because that usually sounds very corporate. Customer relationship management.
Think community relationship management. Most groups just have a list of names on a spreadsheet. But a list isn't a relationship. This system lets you segment your people.
Segmentation is kind of a buzzword. What does that actually mean for, like, a local theater group?
Okay, perfect example. Imagine you run that theater. You have actors, donors, ticket holders, and the parents of the kid actors. Now, if I'm a donor, I do not need an alert that rehearsal is running late.
Right. If you send me that, I'm going to get annoyed and unsubscribe.
That's alert fatigue. Segmentation lets you say, send this update only to the cast group, or send this fundraiser appeal only to people who attended the last 3 shows. It respects the member's attention.
Which builds trust. If I know your emails are always relevant to me, I'll actually open them.
Exactly.
Now, I did see something about white labeling. That sounds expensive. Who is that for?
That's for the big players. A large university, the national nonprofit, they might not want their members to know they're using a third-party tool called Kannect.
Right, branding. They want it to feel like their app.
Yes. So white labeling lets them strip away all the Connect branding and use their own colors, logo, and domain. To the user, it just looks like the State University alumni app, but the engine underneath is Connect.
So it scales up. And speaking of scale, we should talk about who is actually using this. Is it for knitting circles or governments?
Well, the source material is fascinatingly broad. They list nonprofits, K-12 and higher ed, government, public safety, chambers of commerce.
I even saw creator-led communities and political parties. That's a huge range.
It is. And when you look at their Trusted By section, you see groups like the Life Studios, the Deaf Culture Center of New Mexico, and even the Lamar County Republican Party.
And PPE, kids. It really does run the gamut.
It just shows that the mechanics of gathering people are universal. Whether you're organizing a political rally or a youth sports league, the structural problems are the same. How do I tell everyone where to be and when without it getting lost in a TikTok feed?
It's the plumbing of human connection. It's not sexy, but if the pipes are clogged, the house is unlivable.
That is a perfect analogy. And that brings us back to the philosophy from their blog post. It argues that engagement is displaced, not dead.
I love that phrasing. That reframes the entire issue.
It really does. It's not that we live in a world of short attention spans. It's that we live in a world of high friction. If I have to hunt for information, I'm just going to give up. Not because I don't care, but because the hurdle is too high.
So the platform's job is to remove the hunt.
Right. It's shifting the leader's role from chasing attention to building infrastructure.
Yeah.
If you build the house, people can come over. If you're just shouting in the town square, which is what social media feels like,
Yeah.
you get an audience, not a community.
An audience consumes, a community contributes.
Precisely. An audience watches you. A community talks to each other.
Now, I did notice a note about human support, because in 2026, support usually means an AI chatbot that runs you in circles.
That stood out to me too. They say setup takes under 15 minutes, but they also offer guided onboarding. They explicitly say software should support people, not replace them. It's a reassuring touch. It acknowledges that moving your community is a big deal.
So, big picture, Kannect is betting that organizations are finally fed up with the pay-to-play model, the privacy issues, the noise.
I think that's a safe bet. We're seeing this trend toward the cozy web or private gardens, smaller controlled spaces away from the chaos.
Yeah.
People want connection, not just content.
I like that. The greenhouse, a controlled environment where things can actually grow, protected from the storm outside.
And where the climate isn't being set by an algorithm designed to sell sneakers, it's set by the gardener, the community leader.
So what does this mean for you, the listener? If you're a leader, the one sending those emails into the void, it means rethinking your tools. It means asking, are my members ignoring me, or are they just not seeing me?
Because if it's the latter, working harder won't fix it. You can write better emails and design prettier graphics, but if the pipe is broken, the water's not getting through.
It's infrastructure as destiny. The tools we use shape the communities we build.
If you build on a platform designed for distraction, don't be surprised when your members are distracted.
So we've covered the myth of disengagement, the Frankenstein stack, and this whole home concept. It's a really fascinating look at how the internet's plumbing shapes how we gather.
It really is. It challenges us to stop blaming the users and start fixing the architecture.
Before we wrap up, I just want to leave you with one final thought. We spend so much time blaming ourselves for the breakdown of community. We say, oh, society is more selfish now, or kids these days don't want to join things.
We internalize the failure.
Yeah, but here's the provocation. What if the desire to connect is just as strong as it ever was? What if there's this massive reservoir of community energy out there, people wanting to show up, wanting to belong, that is simply being dammed up by bad tools?
It's a hopeful thought.
Yeah.
That the energy is still there.
It is. So if we stop blaming short attention spans and start fixing the doors we're asking people to walk through, how much of that energy could be released? What if the engagement crisis isn't a crisis of character, but just a crisis of convenience?
A huge potential just waiting for the right key.
That's it for this deep dive into Kannect. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you in the next one.
Take care.